Morning, I'm Helen Tite, this is Pat Taylor, and we're here live from the studios at, in Truro, Chaos. So this class today is Move More, it's reimagined, and that means that we are digital. That's why we reimagined it. We're trying to reach as many people as we can with our falls prevention program. For those of you, shall I start again? I'll start that again. We're trying to reach as many people as we can with our falls prevention program using the medium of Zoom. Now, it's really interesting. When we started this, when the pandemic started, it took quite a long time to get some of you on Zoom. Just the whole technology bit, getting comfortable with it, getting comfortable with us. And now, look at you all, you're whizzing on there and you're being so much more effective using digital now that we're over 18 months since the pandemic began. Okay, so you might notice there's something different going on here today. Right, so what we've done, we're just going to improvise. So this is just giving you a flavour of how we are progressing the falls prevention program. And the bottom line is you don't have to sit on a chair to exercise. You can do things from sofas and from your bed. So we need to get some certain movement patterns out of you. And if we try it and demonstrate it, it'll just give you an idea of what you can practice on your own or with companionship when you watch the recordings. Because as you know, all of these sessions are recorded and you do watch them back, don't you, every week? And some weeks you love us so much that you watch multiple videos of us teaching you exercise and activity. Isn't that right, everyone?
Yes, Helen.
Yes, Helen. Yeah, you're doing your homework. Can I have a show of hands at who's doing their homework?
Honestly.
When I said
Not
show of
two.
hands, come on, guys. It's, you know, I mean, joking aside, it's really important that you integrate some of these movement patterns into your living. Now, have another show of hands of, are you seeing any improvements in your health and well-being since you began this program? Hands up. Great. That's what we want to see. So it's a subtlety around it, which is really exciting. So without further ado, let's get going. Let's think about getting you mobile. Now I'm a very tall person. This isn't quite low for me. And do you know what? In the real world, you might be around somebody's house who has a sofa that is not familiar to you. So here's a challenge to have a go at this stuff, all right? Pat, let's get going.
So let's come forwards in your chair or your sofa. And if you're on a sofa or a fabric chair, it is harder. We're going to go backwards.
Get a bit of a wedgie.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Hurts my knees, Pat.
Do you want to swap?
No, I'm
You're
just
all right
asking
there?
that question.
Well, it will hurt your knees because your hips are more flexed, aren't they? Because you're lower.
Yeah.
So it is harder. And this is what we say about tall people. Sitting in, keep going. Tall people sitting in a low chair, it's much, much harder for you to get out of a chair.
Hey, David.
Because, yeah, David's really tall. Because you've got much further to go because your femurs tend to be longer.
Your thigh bones.
Your thigh bones, etc. Stay at the front third of your chair. Take your feet nice and wide. And then think about your posture. So I really want you to focus on your posture today. So, you know, when we're tired and when we're not focusing, we're kind of slumped, yeah? And that's okay, but you don't want to stay there all day. So how do we change that? We lift through the belly. So imagine you're opening up, you're lifting, and then lift your chest as well. Relax your shoulders and send them back. So we're going to come into that little shoulder circle. So we're rolling the shoulders back and down. So, but take your time. Okay, on Friday in class, we really took our time and we slowed everything down, and it really makes you aware of the movements going on in your bodies. So, big fat roll. And so your hands come right back towards your hips, or they should be if you're making those movements quite large. So thinking about the whole of that shoulder joint, it's coming up all the way back down towards the back. Okay, and then we're just going to rest. we're going to lift those shoulders and gently, softly drop them. So no juddery movements, no quick, sharp movements. Now, does it feel even? Or does it feel kind of one side's tighter than the other? Take your time, especially when you've dropped your shoulders, to just press them down. So how do we do that? We press the backs of the shoulder blades down and then lift and lower. Keep breathing. Thank you, Helen. So lifting and dropping right back down. And you should feel the chest opening as well here, as we just bring that movement to the chest and the backs of the shoulders. Okay, into a circulation boost by lifting the heels. You can't see mine, but you know how to do this. So we lift one heel and then the other. So, that's it.
If we switch cameras a minute.
So lifting just the heels for now. Lovely. Lifting, lifting, one at a time. And I really want you to focus, so spread those toes out in your shoes, and I really want you to focus on pushing the weight down into the balls of the feet now. So we have to work the joints of the toes, because otherwise we get a flat foot and it's quite stiff and sore. So as we get older, we need to move them and warm them up. Okay, now I want you to lean into that movement. So push down and lean forwards. That's it. Good. Lovely. And then we're going to take the feet forwards a little bit and we're going to lift the toes. So lift the foot, squeezing the front of the foot and stretching out the back of the Achilles, so the back of the ankle there. Lovely. Good. And then we're going to take one foot away and make a big circle in one direction.
I need to move forward on my chair.
Yes, so you need to have a straight leg really, otherwise it's difficult to do.
And yes, if you're wondering, they are Wonder Woman trainers.
And then reverse direction. Let's swap legs. So other leg comes around, mobilizing, circling through that ankle. Lovely. And then let's go in the other direction. And then we're going back into the boost. So little heel lift followed by that arm swing as well. So just keeping your feet on the floor for now. We're just not marching quite yet. We'll do that when we're standing. So relax your shoulders and make those arm movements quite big. So you can see that my hands are coming to my hips. Thank you. Thanks. That's it. So getting all the joints, all the muscles working.
I feel quite tired already.
Do you?
Is that normal?
No, it can be normal. You might just need to have a little rest. And a rest. And you know, it's okay. We talk to you about posture, but actually it's all right for you to have a little rest in your chair if you are tired. And then come back into that lifted posture. Okay, have a little rest. Excuse me. Feet come wide, hands come down to the sides, and we're taking that lean, trying to keep that head in alignment.
What do you mean, head in alignment?
So keeping your chin and your head in a straight line so that your spine is, imagine your spine in a line. So we're not
like a tree bending.
Like a tree bending.
Like the trees
blowing in the
bending
wind.
last night, yeah.
But taking that pressure off your neck, really. And you will bend it slightly. And
do you
that's
feel
fine.
more pressure on one bum cheek at a time when you do this?
Yeah, so you tend to lift, don't you? So if I'm this side, I can feel my bum cheek lifting there. So I want you to just try and focus on keeping both your bum cheeks on the chair. And that restricts that movement, doesn't it? Because you can't then make a bigger lean. And that's good because we're stretching through the waist, through the ribs. And that's what we want.
What if I feel dizzy?
Then pump your feet and slow down.
Okay, why do I have to pump my feet?
Because you're dizzy, so keep going. You're normally dizzy because either your blood pressure drops or it might go high, your pulse might drop, and sometimes if we hold our breath, you might go dizzy. And it's just that change in blood pressure or pulse heart rate. So it's important to either stop and just pump your heels or squeeze your toes in your shoes. Have a little rest and then just lift those heels again.
It's really good for your vertigo though if you struggle with some kind of inner ear stuff too.
It can be.
Just moving your head from side to side. It's really good for your ears.
As long as it doesn't set you off on an attack, which is what it does for you sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah. Not anymore.
Okay. How are we doing? Are we okay?
I'm still pumping my heels.
Yeah, always pump your heels. If you've got spare few minutes, pump your heels. It's great for your circulation. It pushes the blood up to your brains and up to your heart.
I'm such a goody two-shoes today. I don't know if you noticed.
Make the most of it because it doesn't often happen. Okay, so what else do we need to do? So we're going to come into that little twist. So again, keeping your bum cheeks on the chair, little turn one way and then the other. And trying to keep your knees nice and still will make that turn, that rotation through the waist and the ribs a bit more effective. So try and do it. Try it. Trying to keep those knees nice and still. This feels quite nice, doesn't it, I think? I like this one. And
Do you know what's nice? If I pull my hand all the way back to my hip and bottom.
Yeah.
Because it makes me turn a bit more.
Yeah, and sending your elbow back as well. Can you? I can really feel that in my ribs. Excuse me. Okay, and then we're back to the heel pump. Fabulous. And we're going to come up to standing. And we'll come back into that ankle mobilisation. So, how do we stand up? You know how to stand up now, but let's practice. So, feet back. Tuck under, and then we're going to lean forwards, push down through those feet, big squeeze at the thighs, calf muscles.
Punch you there. There you go. Ease
Pump
on
your
it.
heels at the top. Why do we do this?
So you don't feel dizzy, miss?
Correct. Why do we not feel dizzy when we pump our heels, Helen?
Because we're exercising the second heart,
That's
miss.
it. That's right. Correct. You're very good today, Miss Tight. Mrs. Tight. Okay, so what are we going to do here? We're going to lift those heels a little bit more and we're going to lift the whole foot off the floor. So we're into a march. Okay, but it doesn't have to be fast.
And do you know what I'm doing?
What are you doing?
I'm keeping my legs on the back of the sofa.
Oh, are you?
So as
you
I'm
know
marching,
you're
because I
safe.
know that if I feel dizzy, I know the sofa's right there, straight
Very
away
good.
from me.
Oh, she's proper good today. And you can do this anywhere. You could do it waiting for a bus, in your kitchen. Helen goes into a little dance like that.
And a little walk.
A little walk with her hands like that.
Turns out, my husband does the same thing.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh,
When he
blimey,
said,
what a
he
pair.
said, I learned when he's playing golf and he does a nice putt.
He goes like that, doesn't he?
He goes like
Is
that.
his little celebratory walk?
Yeah, apparently so.
We should build that
We
into our
discovered that
session.
of each other recently.
Oh dear.
Swinging
Have
the
you missed us,
arms.
Rob? So you can do all of these sitting down in your
Max, you
chair.
all right, lovely boy? Give me a thumb
Lovely.
up, Max.
I've had terrible problems getting a signal.
Okay, love.
I'm with you now.
Okay, good.
Right, let's come back to the toes, heels. So we're going to take a little look at our feet. Thank you. So heel toe, and I know we've just done this, but really important that we dig the heel in, squeeze the toes up, point the toes down.
Sally, you all right, baby girl? Good. We got your message. Oh no, yeah. This hurts my hip if I do this on one side.
The hip that you're standing on,
Yeah.
or the hip of the leg, yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens is we're putting all your body weight through that leg, and arthritic hips and joints ache when you're standing through them, but actually it's really good for your legs. Let's swap sides while we still keep talking about this. It's really good to build up the density in your bones
Why?
because it stops you getting osteoporosis and osteopenia, which
Why?
is that thickness of your bones.
She's going to kill me afterwards. You know that, don't you?
And
Everyone
I
here,
am.
you've seen it here live on TV. That she's
She's being irritating, isn't she? But you know, those thicker bones, those denser bones, means that you have less spaces in your bones and you're less likely to fracture your bones, break your bones if you fall over.
Oh Christ, that's scary, isn't
It is scary, but it's the truth. And your lovely vitamin D. So do you have enough vitamin D in your diet?
Can we switch back again so you can see our lovely jolly faces?
There, so let's take it to a march. Oh God, she's dancing now. She's doing a little ball.
It's so much nicer because we have like people behind the scenes that are watching you guys for health and safety. It's so much nicer being on camera with my bud. It is so much nicer.
Right, let's step together, and we're going to spend quite a bit of time on the sofa, so we'll whiz through some of these. Then Helen's doing the seated option. Step together. Oh, good morning, Trudy. If we don't say hello to you, it's because I can't see who you are on camera. It's nothing personal.
I like that some of you've got your own. What's that arm? Put that up. What's that? You had a floppy arm.
Oh.
Right. I like that some of you've got some real active movements in your wrists and elbows. I like that there's some jigging going on there too. It's nice.
You can have a jig. You can add in a little bicep curl, which means that you're taking your hands away from your support, doesn't it? And if you feel able to, you can add one arm in and change it as long as you've got some support, or both.
Now, the feedback is everybody really likes the sidestepping.
They like sidestepping.
Why is that, do you reckon?
Well, because we don't sidestep, do we? We don't practice sidestepping unless you go into an exercise class. But actually, it gives you much more confidence when you have to do it. You know, people are out in the streets, they don't notice you and they come at you, so you might need to sidestep.
It's scary, isn't it? And like if you work with the stick or crutches as well, and you know you can hear somebody coming up behind you.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, it's terrifying. I just think they're gonna take my legs away.
And sometimes we're just not quick enough to get out of their way. So to just step to the side and wait is great. Okay, how about we change it and lift those legs? So don't do the arms just yet. Lift, step, lift, together.
Is it okay to do it like this?
It's fine. So if you're sitting in the chair, as you're lying back, it just takes that tension away from the hips. We're trying to work through the legs and the bottom. But most importantly, those hip flexors are the bits in your body that help you to lift your legs. So lift, and again, you don't need to go this fast. Oh, you might feel a little clunk in the hip there. Breathe. Try not to hold your breath. And then have a little heel lift. So just a heel lift to recover. So we always help you to recover in between these movements.
What's a heel lift?
So there's a difference. A heel lift is your foot is on the floor and you're just lifting the heel, okay? And it means that your heart's still working, but not so much that you're puffed out, because we just need to bring your heart levels down a little bit, but not so low that then we have to start again. This is different than the march is picking the heels up off the floor. So your recovery is just a heel lift or a heel pump. Okay, same kind of movement, and we're going to step wide. I love this one. So we step wide together. So it's slightly wider, and if you can add a dip down in the centre, even better. Keep breathing. Make it really slow, and even if you just do one or two, that's great. So you need to stick your bottom back. I'll show you from the side. Yeah. So it's like a dip down, as if you're going underneath something. That's it. So it's a bit of a wider step, but all working through the thighs. So don't be surprised if you feel tired. This is what we want you to do. That's it.
Off camera.
Good. Lovely. Can you do a couple more? And you know, at any point you can stop and rest, yeah? If you can't keep up, it's fine to stop. Okay, and back to those heel lifts. So just gently recovering from those moves, because they're quite big moves. And because we've done a lot of sidestepping, we're working the same muscles, so they will be fatigued now. So let's work on the forwards move, shall we? So we're going to step forwards and then step back, but you can see that I'm stepping back to a wide base of support. So a step forwards and back, step forwards, back, step forwards, and you keep going. So I'm landing on my heel, going on the whole of my foot, and quite a big push back here. So using the power in your legs to come back. Keep breathing. In seated, it's the same. You're just adding a lean forwards. That's it. Lean forwards. Oh, had a little bit of a wobble there. It's fine. What happens if you wobble? What are you doing?
Wobbles are good, right?
Wobbles are good. Depends what you do when you wobble. If you wobble and try and grab something, then that's okay, but you just want to use it as a press, really. And sometimes just a finger on a support will help you to stop being wobbly. That's it. A couple more if you can. Remember, you can do these in the chair. Good. Okay, and lift those heels. Okay. Are we okay?
All good.
Just lift your heels. And we're going to come into some knee bends, my favourite, one of my favourites. So, holding onto your support or by your wall, by your sideboard, your feet are about hip width, toes are out if you can. And we're going to just stick the bottom out, bend the knees, and you don't have to go very low. We're just thinking about that technique. If you're sitting, a little stand or a partial stand, a little bunny hop is fine. So we've been doing this for a long time now, yeah? So what I want you to focus on is not trying to stick your bottom out so much that it hurts your back. So tucking your bottom under, but really sending the knees forwards and hinging, so it's like a concertina.
That's your camera.
That's it. How are you doing? So my eye gaze is dropping, so it starts in front of me, and as I lower, my eye gaze lowers.
Sally, you all right, love?
Keep breathing. Big squeeze of the bottom at the top if you can.
What's Max's wife called?
Jenny.
Jenny. Jenny, stick your bum out.
Oh, it's Jenny.
Stick your bum out. That's it. Don't be afraid. Stick your tush out. Go on, bit more. Hey, that's it. Beautiful.
Good. So that's quite a lot, isn't it? Have a little rest.
Shirley, nice and tall, please. That is about... Stop.
We've
Can I
stopped.
go in?
Yeah,
Stop.
come in.
Stop. So, what I see is this. What we want is this. What I see is this. It's going to hurt your knees. You're going to look down. It's not good. What I want is that. I need you to not be afraid to stick your tush out. So stick out your bum. Right. So proper go for it. Stick out your bum. Give it a waggle. But don't be afraid to stick out your tush. Go on. Sorry, Pat.
All right.
That's it. Eye gaze forward. That's it. Good. Excellent. Jenny, that is brilliant. What a change. Brilliant. Excellent. Peter, well done. Stuart, lovely. There you go. This is you like perching to get on the loo, you know. So this is like a familiar move, but when you call it a squat, it suddenly looks different. You look, honestly, lovely, beautiful. Anita, in the eyes, in the eyes. Look at Pat in the eye, in the eyes. Look at me in the eyes. Good. So we're not looking at the floor. We don't want to go that way. In the eyes, in the eyes. Beautiful. They're a handsome bunch.
And have a little rest. They are. They're gorgeous, aren't they? Have a little rest. Come and have a sit down.
Look at lovely David's face. Beautiful smile. Now, what did I say? Pump your heels, please, David. You look very handsome there, but I'd rather you just put a good boy. Well done.
Fabulous. Should we
Good
do
job.
sofa stuff?
I think we're ready for sofa stuff. It's
Let's
really
do
quite
sofa
exciting.
stuff.
Where do we start?
And then we can always go in. If we got time, we'll do balance. But if not, we'll do balance next time.
Right, so the sofa, let's just do a bit of chit chat because we're introducing a slightly different thing. I don't know what your homes are all like. Some of you have now at a point where you may have raised your sofas so they're a little bit higher to adjust. So literally coming out of that squat, what would you do to sit down on the sofa? You'd stick your bum out, wouldn't you? Because if you don't, you'll land on the edge and then you'll be gone. So you have to stick your bum out to sit down. Okay, so first things first. Hello, sofa.
Hi.
I love that she's taken her shoes off. Not allowed shoes on your
I've got odd
sofas.
socks.
Absolutely. Okay, so actually now think about this. So the sofa application is the same as the bed. The first thing I want you to do, Pat, I don't want you sat there because that's the dog side.
Okay.
Right, so you need to push yourself up, please, and shuffle. Sit. You need to shuffle along. Use your arms, push down and shuffle. Okay, now change your mind. You need to go the other way. You do that in bed, right? Wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Just give me a thumbs up that you would do that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
get into bed and you need to just adjust. So Pat's doing this on her knuckles. Now, controversial. Now, is she using her leg power or is she using
not
her
really.
shoulder power? Which bit is she using to shuffle up and down the sofa? Okay, let's compare that to being in a chair. What I'd like you to do is to hold on to the chair. I got a big bum. Hold on to the chair and put your hands there. And almost that attempt to push off using your hands on the chair. It's kind of an interesting one because actually when it's all starting to work together, it is arms, it is core, it is thighs, it is bottom, that is all playing that game. So not everyone's on a sofa in the space, so we'll do what we can. Lovely. Okay, last time. So you're trying your chair raises, right? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. And then release, give me a moment. Lovely. The other thing that happens is working one leg at a time. So what I want is a one leg circle, and then I want you to switch to the other leg. One leg circle, one leg circle. Okay, so as Pat's doing this, this is basically trying to, because some of us will lie back in
I was
bed.
going to say, can I lie
and
back?
yeah, so
Oh, it's a bit too far. That's better.
see that? So sometimes we would be lying in our beds and trying to get the legs up, because we all have completely different ways of rising out of a bed. So this is why we do the one leg circle. Have you got your bands? Have you got bands? Okay, now try going the other way. So we naturally go up, out, down. Let's go down and up and around, down and up and around. Now that there, when we're down, up and around, that's stair climbing muscles. So, and step climbing muscles. Because again, when some of us are going out and about doing our daily tasks, we worry about the following, and probably in this order. Firstly, where's the nearest loo? Secondly, where can I park? And then, or maybe it goes in the other order. And then the other thing they think about is, what's it going to be like there? So where am I going to sit? Am I going to be comfortable? So we worry about all these things, right? Let alone what am I going to wear? What temperature am I going to be? So all of these things are factors, and we take that into consideration. Okay, release, relax. So Pat is going to do a little demonstration now. She's going to scooch along. So, but we're improvising, right? This is just giving you a bit of an idea of what we're trying to achieve with you. So press up against the wall. The exercise that you've been doing with me. So if we can just change cameras a second, go to that.
Excuse me.
The corner one, diagonal one over there. TV prep 2. Right, that's it. So for a little while, we've been doing press ups off the wall, and more importantly, we've been doing side press ups. Remember? So this is your option today. So you can do this, but just before we start, what I want you to see, so remember we're just kind of a bit of out of the box thinking because we're in a small studio, it's a small sofa. Now watch Pat. So firstly, can you do that again? So don't underestimate the power of the body. So Pat is already, excuse me, Pat is already shuffling down the sofa. Okay, now watch, she wants to lie on her side. Right, so we're modifying. Okay, so now do me the side press up. So the very reason we, show me again, so sliding down, you look like a princess. Lovely. Now let's have a look at this top arm. Push. There you go. So, right, when you're ready, we make ourselves available to a wall or on your side on a sofa or in a bed. And we're going to have a little practice of wall presses. Okay. So here we go. We push and lower. Push and lower. So you can see that that's where we're coming to. I'm just going off screen because I need to have a little look, see what I'm looking at there. Caroline, brilliant. Okay, excellent. Stuart's got that. Yeah, and it's a real demonstration of how we're trying to update movements, take them forwards. Can I get a thumbs up? Bob, are you okay? Maggie's got it. Yeah, you understand. Okay. Okay. But we have two sides, right? So let's have a little practice. Stuart, that is excellent. I can see you in your bedroom. That's brilliant. Rob, you can still lean side to side. So think about your obliques, your waistline muscles, or known as your pasty tops. So think about your centre. Make yourself nice and tight around the centre. So it's a little sway to the floor. And we're on the other arm now, tricep press up. Here as well. So even though we're not working the shoulders when we're in that lateral bend, that sideways bend, we're still working the same muscles. So we're still here into the middle of the body, the obliques, the waistline. Same here, still waistline. So we're still roughly targeting the same thing. So I never want you to think these exercises aren't adaptable, they're not suitable for me, because every exercise has an alternative on a different plane. Okay, well done. Lovely. And sit up. Okay, lovely. Okay, the next thing I want us to do is to really address that bottom shuffle, because there is a tendency when we are on sofas, demonstrate. So this is what happens, fully relaxed. We'll say, come on then, let's go. And that, yeah, so that puts a lot of strain on not only your core muscles, but down into your pelvic floor and your bladder. So go back again and also do the slide off. This is the other thing, and I can tell you now, this is probably one of the most common signs or common things, especially if somebody's got carers coming in to visit. People slide off the sofas, they get stuck, and then they wait for the carers to come and pick them up.
And then they normally go like this, don't they? And the carer will come and pull them forwards, and you're just in the wrong space. So then it's a long way to go up. It's difficult.
So let's revisit that bottom shuffle, all of you. Really put it into consideration that we need to get that bottom sliding back into the back of the chair. Then we take the bottom forward. Use the whole of the body to bottom shuffle and the whole of the body to shuffle backwards. So just keep working through that for a second for us. Now you can see, I mean, Pat, this is a nice height for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you've got shorter legs than me.
Yeah.
So this is quite nice, and your bum will catch on fire if you're doing it on a fabric sofa. But it's really important to really experience as much of the sofa onto your bottom as possible. Lovely. Because this is making sure that we are really in the right position to rise from any chair at any level. Okay, so from here, based on the fact that we've already been sticking our tushes out, we're in the front third, and then we're just going to do a little rise, So we're not into a full stand, it's a little rise. And the reason we're doing this is we're really trying to think about strength around the knee, strength around the thigh here. So even in sit, we can have a go at practicing this. Eye gaze in the eyes, in the eyes, in the eyes. So you're looking at us. Look at little Violet's face, she's smiling. Good stuff. That's it, Maggie. Brilliant. I'm really chuffed, and that's lovely because we got higher, most of us have a higher bed these days. Do you know, I tell you what's quite good, Max, is a cushion between your knees. Try that. So we'll talk about this next. I'm just going to pop a little duvet blankie hoodie. That's what it is, it's a hoodie. There you go, Pat. Put that between Pat's knees. Okay, watch this, right? In fact, do it with your bum going weak, right, knees in. What we often see is this. Can you see this? If we do this as a close-up, I don't know if we can at all. So this is what's really common, that knees touch. Now, if I see that with you guys, what that's telling me, that things are out of kilter further up the body. So a really nice trick is to pop a cushion between the knees and squeeze that thing between your knees as you rise. It really helps with the, your bottom muscles, okay? And actually, once we get these big guns working well, then, which is why I've got really highly functioning working bottom muscles, this is really good because then we're using more muscles to be able to help us stand well. So that's why this is quite important. Always give it a go using a cushion or a ball. Lovely. I have to say, it's really good to see, because I could, off camera, we can see you all moving, which is fantastic. Well done, everyone. Okay, and give yourself a relax. Are you okay?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay? Right, okay, let's take this away again. Okay, so from here, lovely. Pat's going to demonstrate a clam.
And you can do this on the chair as well. There's a band in my bag. And you're used to this one in the chair. We've done it for forever. But it's equally as good in the chair, in the floor, in the bed or on the sofa.
Your bag, Pat, Taylor.
Oh, shush. So you keep your heels, your ankles together. And Helen's going to demonstrate with the band under her thighs. And you're not gripping the band for dear life. You're just crossing it over and holding it in the middle. And then we're just going to send the knees apart and bring it back. Now, if you're lying down, you need to think, we call it hip stack. So one hip is over the other and you don't let that hip roll back, which means that that movement between the knees will be smaller, but actually it's more focused into the hip, which is what we want. And if you're sitting, so follow Helen, and you can take those knees wider, but actually it's a lovely one to do in the bed. If you wanted to follow on the bed and do a little bit more, you lift the whole leg up and lower it down. Lift it up, and Helen's tapping out. So it's a whole leg movement. Now,
so just pause for a second. Are you watching that? Are you following that? Okay, so can you see? It's exactly the same movement. Exactly the same movement. So the force of gravity is different. So at the moment, the challenge is to open and close at the hip. So really good for the pelvis, really good if there's any kind of imbalances around the hip and pelvis. So that's the first thing. Doing it with a band, exactly the same. So this is mimicking the same force of gravity. So this is applying resistance. So really both very, very good for the hip and pelvis. But honestly, if you could practice this for me this week from your beds or from your sofas, you'd really make me a happy bunny. And I'm not a very happy bunny right now.
Just talk to her about a puppy, then she's a happy bunny.
Yeah, ask me about my new puppy and I'm like, whoa.
I'm going to swap sides.
Okay, so there you go, doubling up. So she's on the other side.
So I've just shifted.
So think about how that was Maggie. Get back down there. Get back down there. Lie back down. Push up. Do it properly. When you move from one side to the other. She's like, oh yeah, right, okay. So push up on one side and then flip over to the other.
And if you do this at home, if you're pushing up from the sofas and the beds, that's exercise. So next week when we go, have you done your homework? You go, yeah, I did my exercises in the bed. Because we do it every day, don't we? It just means sometimes you have to repeat it and notice, just be aware of all these movements that we do. And then you'll be top of the class.
So now I'm stepping out and in and out and in. Stepping
And there's
out.
another one you can do on the bed, which is lifting the whole leg. Oh.
Got a sock in my
They're
face.
So lifting and lowering.
Stick her where you were. It's a lot to remember. So the magic thing about fitness is that you do a class and then you'll leave and you go, oh, that was the best class. I really enjoyed that. What did you do in the class? Can't remember. So what happens? We've got this magic ability. The second that you stop watching, you've forgotten everything we've taught you. Until next time.
How about we go into a bridge and pelvic floor? So
Okie doke.
it's quite easy to do on the bed, isn't it? It's harder to do in the chair.
Okay, so just take a break for a second. So remember, this is we're improvising, right? So I recognise many of you have different shaped sofas. Beds are obviously longer than 6 foot. So what I'm looking for here is the bottom to tuck. Can we see that? So the bottom tucks under and then it relaxes. The bottom tucks under and relaxes. I don't suppose you could put your feet any closer. There you go.
And then can we just have a check-in on Brenda? Are you okay there, Brenda? Oh, bless you. Checking you're all right.
Is she all right? Thumbs up, Brenda, you're okay? Right, okay, cool. So, and this movement, this is the spine bridge. What she's doing is tucking under her pelvis. Caroline, that's lovely. So this is probably one of my all-time favourite movements. What she's doing is simply trying to lift her bottom off the ground. Why? This strengthens the hips, strengthens the thighs. It's really good for the pelvic floor.
And normally my head would be flatter, so it's stopping me from coming up a bit higher, but so don't have your head like this if you're doing it on the bed.
So on the side, because I know quite a few of you today are watching on the side, what I'm looking for is a roll and a sit strong and tall. So this is the C shape. So we go from a tall angle, round in. So that would be a similar exercise that we would perform. So really actively and consciously rolling onto your bum cheeks, shortening through your center, eye gaze to your belly button, rise up nice and tall. Drawing your belly to backbone. So the bridge, we see this, honestly, I teach it in every class. So this is one of my favorites, but it's really good. It's really good for the back of the thigh. So you might get a bit of crampage, posh cramp, underneath your thighs. So if you go flat for me, put your feet up there. So I'm just getting Pat to modify again. Just play with it. So here's the rule. Not one size fits all. You're not going to break anything. So Pat's modified again. So she's gone flat, and it's better for you if your head is flat. And she's rising up again. So her bottom's going higher. So it's a really good line here. And then she's laying the spine down in sequence. So really lovely. So it's cool. We're articulating the spine. So we are moving the vertebra one vertebral segment at a time, all the way to the top of the movement. So the hamstrings fire, the glutes fire, the calves, everything is firing. So it's a really good exercise. And there's no reason that you can't try that in your own beds. I know. So exercise in your mind. We want it to be little and often rather than 1 hour. So give this a go at home. Well done, team. Okay, so we're going to rise to a stand. Last thing I'd like to do with you is to work in extension. So we're near a wall. We step back from the wall. I want you to lift one leg away from the wall and down. Other leg away from the wall and down. Okay. So this is helping us with our balance, but again, it's really starting to bring in the bottom. Okay, so if you want to, we do this in standing against a chair as well. Just come in to have a look. Last exercise, because this stuff is like a bit bonkers. Now you should have this already. We've sent this to you. Well done. 2 or 3 more. Well done. Can we have a little smile, please, my beautiful people? There's some serious concentration going on today. Lovely. Lovely. So try and get one leg back. So this is a really good one. Jeff, Max, lovely, good. Sal, good. Yeah, you might be feeling it in your back. That isn't unusual. You're working some of those back muscles that aren't trained as well. But we have to keep practicing this. Peter, you look lovely. I think you wandered then for a second. You all look great. Lovely. And Jenny's doing some heel raises to work on her balance as well. That's good. So great. That's great to see. You're adapting and modifying. So if you can't do one move, you're switching to something that you're comfortable with. So that makes me really, really happy. Lovely. Sal, you're right, babe. Yeah, good stuff. And release. Well done. Okay, so we're going to do some stretching with you guys. Time. Okay, so let's stretch. Back to you, Pat.
Okay, so let's stretch out your legs. So come into a seated position. There. And we're going to stretch out those legs because we've done quite a lot of leg work today, haven't we? So it's really important to get them stretched out so that you don't ache over the next couple of days. So we're going to, and we're used to doing this, you can't really see me, I'll go to the side. Stretch out, thank you. Stretch out one leg so it's nice and long, and you might need to shuffle forwards on your chair because you need to have a straight leg. Otherwise you don't feel the stretch in the back. Hands come on the other leg and make sure your ankle, coming out in sympathy, is underneath your knee. And then we're going to lean forward. So just from the hip, and try not to round through your spine. And we do that by keeping the chin lifted as if you're just dropping your eye gaze to about 45 degrees. So your eye gaze always comes with you unless we say otherwise. And try to make sure that your toes are pointing up to the ceiling. And breathe, get some oxygen to your muscles. And then we're going to come up to a seated position, relax the toes off, and then squeeze those toes up towards your knee cap. And then rest. Then we're going to change sides. So the other leg pushes away. I've got a nice long leg. So look, if I'm sitting back in my chair, my leg can't be straight, so I can't stretch it. So that's why we ask you to come forwards, and then I can straighten them off my leg. And really let this other leg support you. Hinge forwards from the hips. And just breathe. Know that you've done really well. And if you couldn't take part in some of those exercises on the sofa or the bed, then do practice. It's a little excuse for a nap later. Just say I'm going to do my exercises on the bed. And while you're there, have a little
I
nap.
actually did that, didn't I? When I was
she did.
poorly.
Yeah, do you remember when we did, when we taught this last time, I did relaxation. Helen was a bit poorly, so she went off to sleep for quite a little while, and I just
left me
her.
for about 2 hours, didn't you?
And we left her and shut the class off, and she was still asleep. Bless her. Okay, sit up, leave the foot there, relax the toes off, and then squeeze them up. Toes up towards the knee. Excuse me. Big squeeze there. Okay, let's pop your hands behind you. Hold onto your chair or hands in the lower back, and then try and squeeze those elbows together, and then just lift the chin, just a small amount. Squeeze. Breathe. So don't hold your breath here. Just enjoy that stretch through the chest, and then let go. Just give yourself a big bear hug. So wrap those hands right around your shoulders, and then drop the chin just a little bit. Breathe. Feet are nice and wide, always wide, to support you. And then we're going to put the top arm underneath, bottom arm on top, and then drop the chin again. Lovely. And then shuffle back, make yourselves comfy, and then close your eyes. Just for 2 minutes of relaxation. Okay, so just rest your hands on your laps, or wherever you want them to be, but take that tension out of the fingers. Relax the shoulders. Relax the face. Relax down the legs, right into each toe. Squeeze them and then let them go. And just breathe. And I just want you to be aware of your breath. So notice, what does it feel like? Can you feel that breath raising the shoulders? Or raising the chest? Or raising the belly? Can you feel it into the sides of the ribs? Or into the back? Is that air you're breathing in warm or cold? And feel the difference in temperature of that breath as you breathe it out. And relax again. Relax from the top of the head, the crown of the head, all those muscles in the face, the shoulders, the arms, the fingers, the thumbs, around the belly, the bottom, the thighs and the backs of the thighs, the calves, the toes, the ankles, the knee caps. Just resting, relaxing, recovering, just for a couple of moments. Just breathing and noticing. Are your teeth relaxed? Is your jaw relaxed? Just let your attention wander. And then bring that attention back to the breath. Feel your body recovering just by breathing and relaxing. Feeling maybe energized now after that exercise. Ready to face the day. And then we just start to move the toes. Move the fingers. Moving through the shoulders, rolling through those shoulders, sitting upright, moving the toes. Opening the eyes, having a stretch if you need to. Open those fingers, close them, open and close. Deeper breaths. Weakening the body. Roll the shoulders again, pump those heels, and give yourself a little round of applause. And well done for another Move More session. Well done. Watch the video back and practice, practice, practice. And we'll see you next week for some more exercises.